kids, Mark Miller here. Welcome to the show. We're going to write some code today. Kind of get right into it and kind of show you where we left off yesterday and talk about, see if we can get this canvas filter caching to work. Yeah, I'm not sure if this will be successful or not. The last thing we did yesterday, we got close. This morning I added a checkbox so we could turn it on and off. I haven't tested it yet, but I think it's going to work. I think when I say it's going to work, I think the checkbox is going to work. Let's just do a quick test and see what things look like. If bring up little cutie and bring up her greatsword.
Little cutie.
It looks like that. Looks like we have hue shift turned off. You can see the frame rates there. Looks like dynamic throttling is turned on as well. So we've got the frame rates here at kind of a reasonable 25. Let me turn off dramatic dynamic throttling. Let's crank everything up to 60. Just max out the frame rate. See what we can get. So not bad, right here. The sword swing looks a little janky to me. It looks like it doesn't look smooth at all. So I'm a bit concerned about that. That's kind of a separate issue. Let's see what happens when I drop it to 30. Yeah, no real change in the smoothness or the jankiness of it. So it's already kind of not great. Let's enable a hue shift. Notice the frame rate drops just a little bit. But still not bad with one piece on there. I am concerned, like, you get this rush that sometimes it's like, whoa, I got to catch up my position, and then it kind of goes back. The math and the code we have here should solve that problem. Let's drop dice overlay down to 5 frames a second, see if we get any more smooth behavior out of the front overlay. So we just dropping dice down to 5 does actually improve the situation. Look at that. That's super interesting. Let's bring dice overlay up to 60 here. Interesting. I put it at 60 and the best it can get is like, there we go. That's super interesting. So the dice overlay seems to be influencing the smoothness at which we can draw the other piece. So as part of our dynamic throttling, we might say, well, okay, look, if there's no dice we're rolling, drop our frame rate down to like 1 or 2. Notice also on the screen, there's like a little die here, a die here, here and here. These have all been disappeared, but we've not actually removed them from the world engine, so they're still drawing these 3D objects at a great distance away from us, or at a small size, and so it's slowing things down. Now that's pretty impressive. That if I move this, drop this down, we now get to the smooth motion I'm expecting here from the front overlay. All right, so now let's try clicking on Enable Canvas Filter Caching. This is what we were working on yesterday. One of my dance moves I'm working on, my new dance moves I'm going to unveil at the dance club. Coding Gorilla, so glad you're here. You were super helpful yesterday. I'm going to say no, did not get it to work, but we got kind of close. When I tried it, I was like, what is going on? I was a little bit disappointed. And I was thinking, well, it's a dead end, back away. And then this morning I was thinking, maybe I can make this work. So, that's kind of where we are right now. I'm about to enable it, and if we see what I saw yesterday, it's going to be kind of interesting. Let's see what happens. Okay, I've just switched it over. Oh my gosh, what's going on? That's crazy what's happening. Okay, I know exactly what's happening here. I can actually explain this. That was a surprise, but I understand what's happening. we are, is that for me? Ask Jetsam? Flying way too low. All right. That is a little bit crazy what's going on here. So let's look at the code. Okay, now wait, look up here. Look at what's going on. This is what I saw yesterday. It looks like we're kind of going and then we disappear. We get like almost all the way across. So that first part is using the cached filter, if my understanding of the code is correct. What's so remarkable is behind me, what's happening. Now, what's going on is we're changing the hue shift of this guy every couple seconds. There's a hue shift change. I mean, every couple, maybe half second or something. Every time you see this, let's go look at the code and you can see what's going on and it'll explain what's happening with the everything is slow and down and I got stuff here. Let's maybe turn off this for now. Go back to normal here. I turned it off, but this one's still going. It's because I created it and I haven't gotten rid of it yet. Is that what's happening? Maybe if I bring it up again, it'll go away. No. I turn that off. Let's turn off hue shifting.
Marking.
Select another player. That's really interesting. So if I come back in and bring up the greatsword, the greatsword's got this kind of weird problem now. If I go to javelin, javelin's fine. So greatsword is kind of in a permanent state of kind of destruction that happened relative to enable canvas filter caching. All right, so let me just roll the dice. Throw those out there. Dice are slow. Oh, because I have the 5 frames per second. Let's bump it up to 30. There we go. There's the dice moving like we're expecting them to see. See them move. All right. How you doing, Jetsam? And how are you doing, Coding Gorilla? Yeah, super appreciate your help yesterday, Coding Gorilla. That was some great stuff you were suggesting. All right, let's hide the scroll. Oh, look at that. Boom, all the way across. Yeah, so some permanent damage here from this piece. Once we've started it, and I don't know if permanent damage is the best way to say it. I will also say that I've written no code to clean up, to garbage collect. It's still, I just want to see if we can get the drawing to work. We're not quite there. So what's happening is we are accumulating, every time we bring out some new sprite or something like that, we're accumulating this background cache that's just sucking up memory. Let's look at the code, because that's like the most interesting place I think to be right now. So this is my global, and if it's true, we call inside here and shift color. So if there's a color shift required, we come in here. Now, if there's a hue shift per second thing, we're not going to touch it. What's interesting is the boombox from the drone game apparently isn't using this feature, hue shift per second. Something else is going on with the boombox apparently, because it was able to get by this block and it got down into here. We call base animation filter images. Now, just to refresh your give you a sense of the structure here and the architecture, we use the flywheel design pattern for our drawing. So we have one set of sprites, and we then can reuse that set of sprites all over the screen. That's why, you know, all of these coins here are pretty efficiently stored in memory. We just have one set of sprites and we're drawing from that one set in all these different locations. That's what's going on with all the coins. Excuse me. So base animation, let's just step out and see how we get here. Before we dive into here, let's look at base animation so you can see where that's coming from. It's passed in here to draw. And that comes from sprites. So sprites is the part of implementing the flywheel design pattern and sprite owns this base animation. So when we create a new sprites object, let's look at that for a second. Go to drag in front game, and we'll look at some example of the sprites in here. I don't know, Spark Shower. We'll go look at that. So here's Spark Shower. Here's where we create it. We say it's in this folder, Sparks, big Sparks. It's got 63 frames. We want to run it at 30 frames per second. It's sequential. So these are the things that have impact every time we run the Spark Shower. We give it a name so we can find it from the special effects. And then somewhere out here, well, we're going to draw it. We're going to select it if you specify Spark Shower, and it'll automatically become part of the effects. That's all the code that's in there, but it's creating an instance of sprites. When we create that instance of sprites and we pass in that folder name right here, the base animation name, that creates and assigns to the sprites property base animation a part. Okay, so for these coins on screen, there is one sprites object that has one base animation. Okay, and it's of type part. Is what's going on there. That's what we're calling that. That's a part. Okay, let's drill down. Let's go jump back to where we were. And now let's go down and drill into filter images. So this is the code we wrote yesterday. Inside part, we added this stuff right up here. So we've got a filter images call. We check to see if our map contains the filter we're specifying. So here's what's happening. We use the flywheel design pattern to lower our memory impact, but we're about to essentially create kind of like a bunch of parallel flywheels for every unique filter we pass in for that part. That's what the intent of the code is. So, so here we're checking to see, hey, does the filtered image already exist? Do we have a cache set of images for the filter? And if we do, we're done. We're out. Just real quick, in and out. If not, we create the filter images for that filter. And then we call new cached images, passing in these images that we already have associated with part. So this images, let me just jump in and show you that. It's got two of them because it's got a getter and a setter. But that's just, it's got our load on demand for our image array, which is stored here. Right there, it's an array of HTML image elements. Okay, we're going to call, this is part of our load on demand architecture here. What's going on with this part of my screen? It just hasn't refreshed. Okay, interesting. All right, so that's what's going on there. So we are passing that in. To our constructor, as well as the filter. So inside our constructor, our cached images looks like this. By the way, we're heading in a direction and putting suggested, don't quite go in that direction. I was heading in a direction where I was creating a canvas and a context flat out for every cached image. And I knew, and I was concerned about it, but I was like, let's get it to work first and then we'll optimize. Pudding was also concerned about it, and Pudding suggested, hey, why not create one canvas, one context, but make it big, a big canvas. And so I did that. And so I've got, in the constructor for cached images, I create a new canvas. I check to see if the first image width is 0. It should never be 0. The way our load on demand architecture works is when I say, hey, there's a whole bunch of sprites here, it just loads the first one so it can get the width and height of it. So flat out, that's going to happen as a part of our loading. So if I have like 100 different animation sequences, we will load 100 different images, the first image of all of those sequences, to get the dimensions. Okay, so this should never happen, but I've got that there. By the way, it just occurred to me, I should go over and inspect, see if we have any console errors. Oh, we got some interesting console errors. Oh no, these are not that interesting. These are just saying, hey, we're not playing any sounds because you didn't interact. Are we muted anyway? We're muted. But this is a DOM exception. Anything else? Nothing else. Okay, so I'm just going to click on it, interact. I'll clear these over here, right here. That's a heavy load. I think, are you referring to all this? You might be. By the way, if you are, notice that we're running out of 2 instances of Visual Studio right now. We're debugging in both of those. So we can start these standalone and get better numbers. So, so I'm not too worried about that. Also, I was going to say our dice layer. You know, our dice layer is sucking up a lot, and there's no dice really shown. There's just these small things. I'm going to drop that down to like 5 frames a second, and we should see the other pieces go up a few frames per second there. Back overlay is higher than I expected. However, again, we are kind of in this weird broken state because I have not cleaned things up. Anyway, let's look at the code and see if we can find out what's wrong with the code, see if there's a way we can fix it. So I create a new canvas, plus you're casting. Yeah, that's true. All right, so there's our canvas. We check to make sure the image, at least the first one, is good. Then we set the canvas width equal to the image width times the images.length. This should give us a nice long canvas. We set the height just to the image height, and what we're going to do is we're just going to draw the pictures next to each other in this cache, and then when it's our turn to copy them back, we'll grab the right spot and copy them back. That's what our intention is. We assign the context filter to the string filter we pass in. This is our hue shifting that we're doing. And then we go through every single image in here and we push it. Now, at the very beginning when we do this, these images may not exist yet. They may not have been loaded. So, and we put them in our cached images. I'll look at this in a second. Get source offset, just pass it, takes in a frame index, and just passes it straight out and gets the source offset for that particular frame index. I can also multiply them out, but I thought, you know what, let's do the multiplication 1 point, so we have 1 source for the offset, and let's just grab it. So you'll see code that sets this in here. That's what I expect you to see. Get canvas. What is going on here? Oh, this, we're checking this, we're bringing back a canvas image source so we can do our painting on it here, if we find it and if it exists. Okay, so if we can find the canvas, if we can find at this frame index a valid image, then we're going to return the canvas, which is part of this whole cached images piece. It's a single canvas. But if we can't find it, then we're going to return null. So get canvas is here. If we get a good value, then we're going to call draw image on it, and we're going to grab our source offset x. So the parameters for this are, you know what, I had this in, let me tap the next reference. I can't tap the next reference on it. Let's drop a marker here. Here's what I wanted to show you. It's this piece right here. Go back up so we can see it. So these are the parameters for draw image right here. And we start here with SX, which is the distance from here in the source image. So for us, that distance is going to be the source offset X. How far over is that color shifted image? And the SY is going to be 0. The SH and the SW is going to be the width and height of it. So that's SW right there. That's SH right there. That's going to be the width and height. Move this up a little bit so you can see it. And then after that, we have our DX and our DY, which are, oh, the destination canvas, that is, wait, what? Oh, it's up here. That's where the offset's going to be. So that's my DX and DY right up there. That's the offset where I want to put it. So I've calculated that up here. That's just where the upper left coordinate is going to be. And you can see I'm using it down here when I have that piece turned off. And then I have width and height again because I don't want to scale it. it's going to be the exact same piece that's going on here. Scaling is accomplished in another way. So that code looks correct to me. What's happening though is we're getting some disappearing, and in the case of the boombox, it was crazy. The whole thing, we were drawing the whole thing out. Wasn't quite making sense. Filter catch. Oh wait, this doesn't look good. Yeah, this is old code that I would need to fix. That's, I think, part of the problem. Where's my width and do I have a width in here at all? I can get it from image. That's what I can do. I think I want to go in. Let's go into filter cache here. That I think could make a big difference. That's passed in. Cached images. Yeah, I need. I want to do this. Image width. Let's do that. And let's do the same thing with image height. And let's put this here. Let's declare this. Come up here, type in VN for variable type number, pasted, shift enter to duplicate it. Encoder's already saw for my duplicate line. It learned I want to take width and turn it to height. So really fast to do that. Oops, this should be lowercase. Okay. So there's my image width, image height. Let's go back down to where we were. There you go. I think that's going to give, that has a shot at giving better results. In fact, if anything, I think it's going to fix the problem in the background with the drone game that we saw. Let's refresh everything. There's the drone game. It's a back overlay. Here's the dice layer. Wouldn't it be awesome if it just kind of started working from that one little change? I don't think it is. There's something going on with those, why the frames are being, I think there's another problem, why the frames are suddenly disappearing on the sword. I don't get that at all. Okay, there's that. Let's come in here. Let's turn, let's initialize player data first, so we get rid of the text on those overlays. Enabling key shift. Let's bring up the great sword first. But I'm not seeing anything. Oh, it could be because we're loading resources still. Give it a second. Because we don't even see the background. Yeah, we're hearing the sound effects. There's part of it. That's the load on demand. Delay loading. What's going on with resources? Okay, so that's normal. How we're expecting it to be. Let's click on this button right here, enable canvas filter caching. And at this point, well, that's not good. I'm going to say that's really not good at all. Let's refresh over here. Actually, let's stop that a second. I want to go to the drag in front overlay. So I've got the same thing. What's interesting is this layer is frozen, indicating, you know, some kind of big problem. But we didn't kill the drone game, and we're not seeing. Let's hide Fred for a second, just so it's clear what I'm talking about here. I have to hide me to hide Fred as well. Let's do that. There. Take a look at that. The boombox is changing color, and we're not seeing all of those across the board. The boombox looks like it's actually working. Maybe. We'll see. All right, so we've got a refresh up here. Let's reinitialize the player data. We're going to focus over here. Maybe I'm going to refresh the front layer, and I'll just turn off the front layer for now. We got that a little bit distracting. Let's turn all that off. Okay, I'm going to focus out in here, in this space. Since we just enabled it, let's turn this on. So we've got it, hue shift, show FPS window, enable canvas, filter caching, and let's bring up a little cutie, and let's bring up the greatsword. Let's see what we got. Well, no console errors. Interesting. Let's see if we can get it to a breakpoint out here. Nothing there. There's one there. I got a filter cache here. Okay. Oh, maybe my problem is here. Let's go down here and see what's going on here. There's that. We're going to try and get the canvas at the frame index. We're specifying. Last red is here. I wonder if I should set this. Well, let's see. Let's go in now. So cached images of frame index, 35. Cached images has got 91 in it. Is it drawn yet is the question now. So let's go in here. Original image is still here. It's as if the original image has not been loaded yet, is what this is kind of appearing to indicate. Not getting any IntelliSense here. It says it's undefined. That is not undefined. Let's copy this, make sure I've got this exactly. Yeah, I didn't type it in on the right way. What do we got? Base URI. I'm looking for like height and width values here to be set correctly. Nope, it's not been loaded. All right, let's get out of here a second. So that has not been loaded. What's going on with this one? Because if this one has been loaded, then the solution is to pass that one in instead of holding a reference to it. Let's go see if we can get a width down here. Nope, it does not look to be loaded either. Could it be that we are not encouraging it to load? But even this should work. We should see something. Oh, I see. Here's why we're not seeing anything. Because we need, we're coming in here and then we're jumping down to there. We never get to the draw image. I could do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hold on. I want to do filter cache. like this. And then I want to say, hey, if this, we're going to come down in here. And otherwise, we're going to do that. That, I think, is going to maybe solve the drawing problem there for us while we're waiting for it to load. All right, let's continue. And over here, we're going to need to refresh. Initialize player data. What's interesting is we lost our music. Kind of interesting how we lost our music. Maybe I have to refresh my drag and back overlay. Let's do that too so we can get the music back here. Oops, not the back overlay, sorry, that was the wrong one. I meant the drone game. We're still at a breakpoint? It's acting like we're at a breakpoint. I know, it's just taking a long time to refresh it. That's what I'm looking at right there. It takes way longer to refresh right now. Yep, and the overlay is, back overlay is refreshing as well. Okay. All right, let's back over here. And bring up Little Cutie's Greatsword. Well, I see that we're supposed to be there. I don't see it painting. But it could be because the signal R is connected with some parts, but not others, is what it could be going on. It could be a signal R is not actually connected here. Let's see if I can inflict some damage here. Oh, yeah, it was just taking a while to come up. Now what's super interesting is, yeah, this is kind of what I saw yesterday, is it was like really slow for it to get to this point. Look at this. It's like the whole thing is saying, hey, don't even, I know this thing you're trying to do, but for whatever reason, our attempt to do it looks like it's not doing well at all. And I'm curious to see, so, but what's interesting is it is kind of working. Right, at least up to this point. And then this is kind of what I saw yesterday, is it gets straight up and down and it's like, I can't draw any more frames. But I'm wondering if it's just still trying to load the others. Something's happening. Where are you, code? Where is it? And what's also interesting is all of this background loading is totally happening while this is happening here. So all of this other stuff is being loaded up. And there's something in here. Let's try to profile it for a little bit and see what see if there's any clues in the profiler. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. A couple things don't make sense to me. One is, why do we suddenly lose the picture? That doesn't make sense to me. Let's set a breakpoint in here and try to get a sense of what's happening here. So for what's our frame index? It's 25. So, all right, let's set a breakpoint here instead and run it. And what's our frame index? Assuming we're in the same one, we're in 0 here for this. What is the, we're storing the file name in here. We are. What's the file name? Can we hover over that? Okay, let's go to our watch window. No IntelliSense here. The file name? Yeah, it is. This is the time display panel. There's no real hue shifting here. Let's do this. Let's do some console log stuff out here. Let's do that. So we'll just flood it with more detailed information. And then let's do maybe even more. Should we do this here? Why not? Okay. And then here, I don't think I'm going to do any message there. Let's run it, refresh.
Little cutie. It's cutie.
All right. So let's bring up the console log here. And let's bring up the greatsword.
It's Cutterblock.
Okay, so we have not yet switched over. So let's clear that and set it right now. Just if we're frozen. Where the heck are we? I don't think I can set a breakpoint here. Can I get it? We'll do that. Oh, what's this? What is happening? But here we go. We finally got something. Drawing cache image for canvas image source not found. Then we're Drawing cached image. Oh, did I just have the text wrong? No. Interesting. We finally got to a breakpoint. What's happening? I'm gonna do a performance check on this instrument. Let's get out of here. Oh, interesting. So it was doing something, but we're not sure what. And it's still it's interesting. It gets to this halfway point here. The image was not found. Am I doing something wrong here? I think my text is wrong. Yeah, my text is wrong. Sorry about that. I wanted to do this. That's what I wanted to do right there. I wonder if there's a maximum size on their canvas. What is that my deal? Is that what my problem is? There is a maximum size of the canvas. $32,000 pixels. Ooh. We got smaller, holy cow. We got smaller canvases here. That can't be right. Well, I hope you're right, Coding Gorilla, that's not right. Let's just see the 32,000. Let's take a look at, let's see what the impact is of our, let's kind of start doing some numbers here. Let's go find that animation, figure out how big it is. People build entire games with canvases. Well, let's see just how big we are here. Got assets right there. And dragon, weapons. Great sword is here. This is the magic that we're loading up. Its size, its width is the thing I'm most, well, it's 600 by 950. Okay, so let's bring up the calculator. It is, so 600 is the width. And how many of them do we have? We have 90 times 90, and we are over 32,000. If it's correct, Coding Gorilla, that that's the maximum width, that would explain why we're losing it at the end. It would also, to some degree, explain why the smaller animation of the boombox actually worked, or appears to have worked. Or did it say that? All right, well, let's see here. I'm gonna hide myself in thread for a second. There you go, that boombox in the bottom left. It's working now. It's using the same code that we've got, that we're doing up here for the sword. Who the hell is 256? Let's go look back at what we're looking at here. Well, you're right. Oh, but here, you got more. I think we're running into essentially a hard-coded limit on the size of our canvas. So to solve this, here's the thing. I don't have an indication yet if this is going to nail it or not, if this is going to work. Right? I guess I have some indication that, I just don't have an indication if the performance problem is going to be solved. To solve this, to take this to the next step, I have to either start arranging the images so they fit more in a aspect ratio closer to a square that that takes care of our maximum height and maximum width limitations. Oops, that's not the one I wanted to look at. Okay, this is kind of what we're seeing. Canvas no longer displays the shapes. So we make it more like a square, and we start arranging these pieces like a square. So now we're going to need to add code to do the arrangement of these, right? And then if we fill up the canvas, then we need to get a second canvas, and now we need to also be able to map an image to what canvas it's on, right, by index. We can do all of this, but I'm still like at a point where like, wait, is this actually going to be faster? We think it's going to be faster, but I'm not sure if there's some other problem, right? If I've got the canvas, I've drawn it with the filter, now I start putting it on another one. If maybe like there's something, well, that canvas has a different filter than this one, and so now we get it's going to throw that overhead at us again, and we're not going to gain the performance, get the performance gains from it. Also, if we look at 32,000 versus our width of what we need to store the image, we are about we're about like a little over halfway through, right? This. And if we look at that animation for the sword, it goes, let's see, it's going up and over to there. It's about halfway through too. It's there and then back. Then it starts looping again. And it gets to the end. Yeah, that's about halfway through. So it is, it's stopping right at a point that seems to correspond with this. All right, let's start filling up the square. Let's add some code to fill up the square and see if this improves. If it improves by filling up the square, then okay, we kind of know what's going on. And then we got a handle on it. We can kind of move a little closer. The other option is to test this with a smaller image, which I could do with the dice. The dice has fewer frames to damage dice. Keep that slashing. I didn't want slashing with fire. I can't tell if this is color shifting these or not. Let's do the fire damage. That's color shifting for sure. I can tell because it's got a darker smoke cloud on the top. And we can come over here and disable the hue shift. And then you should see it recover. Oh, it's not going to recover because I've got the cache out there for it. But now we get to here. That's not good. But here, this could be another, we're going off of we have more frames. Let's look at that for a second. What are we looking at? I think dice. Call it dice bomb? Nope. Exploded dust, I think is what I called it. There it is. So let's look at this. What's the cost of this guy? There's 61 frames of this one. Yeah, it just kicked in. I think, so 380. Let's see what we get here. That may not go over 32,000. 380 times 61, I think is what we had. Yeah, that's 23,000. Right? 380, yep. 61, 62 actually. That one's got enough to fit. I don't understand the slowdown there. I'm not sure what that is. We've got a couple different pieces that are kind of hitting us. I'm still inclined to try. Let's try to see if we can fill out the square. Let's try to do that. That means we need a couple things here. We need a source offset Y. And we need to throw that here, right there. We need to go calculate that. I'm going to do the same thing. I really like the idea of putting that down here. Let's go look at where that thing is stored. Created. So here's where we need to see if we're too far off to the edge. Let's say 32,000. Somewhere in that range. So num images per row is here. And then I think I need to go from a this dot index to a, I need to have like a this dot row and a this dot column is what I need to do. So this dot row, so I'm going to wrap my head around the logic here. Equal to this dot index divided by num images per row. And I think I'm going to pass that into a math.floor call right there. So that's the row we're in. So if I've got 100 images in the row and we're at index 99, that's going to be less than 100, so it's going to be on row 0. And if I have over 100, it'll be on the next row or whichever one after that. So then I'm going to say this dot column column is equal to my row, and let's go ahead and declare these up here. So VN and then the word row and duplicate line and then column and then escape to get back. Oops, that's not really, I didn't drop a marker. All right, so my column is equal to this dot index minus this dot row times num images per row. Now I've got my row and my column. That means my source offset X is equal to this column times this image width, and my source offset Y is equal to this row times image height. Sweet. I think that's all I need to do. Go in here, duplicate this. Almost all I need to do. There's something else in the code there that caught my eye as we were moving away from it. So look back at that. My draw image call. Drawn calls draw. Let's go look at that. Why can't I find draw? Right there. More updated answer on canvas size. Oh, cool. What do we got? This one right here. Uh-oh. That's really not good news. Wait, updated in 2018. Was it not? Did I click on the wrong one? Let's do this. Okay. Yep, browsers still do not provide information on the limitations. In our case, that really makes it's a big deal because I still don't know what browser engine we're using inside of OBS. Let's get asked that. Yeah, I don't think we're getting a good answer. Love to know what they're doing. Okay. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you, Coding Gorilla. Chromium. Okay. All right. I don't understand why drawn calls draw. And I know I wrote this code like yesterday, but I thought there was a reason for doing this. I think it was to calculate these pieces right here. This draw image, this piece feels wrong to me. Well, this feels right in terms of draw. Hold on. I feel like I've got lines of code in the wrong method. Okay, so let's call and draw. What? I think this was doing something else, and I really look at this. I'm calling it from the constructor. I don't like that. I don't like it from here. I don't like it from any of these places. This just draws the original image here anyway. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I want to change this code a little bit. That's what I want to do. I've got a dog here. Hold on a second. Let this dog out of here. Like Safari. Yeah. So, I don't know, my theory is we're working with something like this. All right, so let's fix this. I don't like draw being called, I like some of the work that it's doing, but I think I want it to be like, yeah, the Git canvas, I'd start some, this has been doing something else, I think, and we do the actual drawing here. So Git canvas is not going to draw. Drawn, we're just going to say, I think I'm going to change the name of this, on in cache, no wait, hold on, what is this? Canvas context pair. Image has been cached. Like that. Then we call this cache image. And then here, we're going to get rid of this call to draw image there. That we don't want. And we're basically just taking that original image, see if it's been loaded yet. And if it's loaded, the width will change from 0 to something else. And if that's the case, then we're going to come in and we're going to calculate its source offset X and Y. So I like that better. And we're now doing, I wanted to do tap to next reference on the source offset X. Just go through everywhere that we are referring to that. I am noticing, let me do, hold on a second, let's report a code rush issue here. Kids, I'm like doing a tap to next reference on source offset X, and I'm only getting these two references right here. But if I come in and I say, okay, let's rename it, I'm still only getting two. Is this my problem? I think this is in more places. Let's search for it. It's there, it's there. It's here. I don't remember getting to that one. Did I get to that one? Maybe it was okay. Hold on a second. I'm getting to that one. No, we're not getting to the one. So we're getting to these two. canvas context pair. That's in cached images. We're not getting to this one here. Tapped index reference doesn't take us there. And if we rename it, we still get to those two. Although Visual Studio, so tabbing gets me between these two. Hold on, let me turn off tapped index reference and now try tabbing. No. F2 to rename. Hold on. F2 to rename. Tab. That's only taking us to those two. But rename correctly gets this third one here. You start down here and tabbed index reference. It just gets up and then keeps me in those two. So this one it doesn't find the link, so this is just Visual Studios, and then our tapped index reference is only getting these two. So tapped index reference is not getting those. That's the issue. I'm going to check that in, and I'll get you a link in the code for that. Let me just close up the issue here. Call it TTNR, tapped index reference on source offset X. Let's check in all the code right now. So you can use exactly the same stuff I have. And I'm just going to add the comment, working on the cached context filter. And push changes immediately. Stage all. Okay, commit. Tag it. Issue. Source offset X. Push tag. Add the tag. Tag has been added. And there is your link right there, kids. It's that one right there. There's the source code. See if you can duplicate that. I'm in the overlays only project in there. I was inside parts, and that's the code I was renaming. So kids, if you don't know, we are dog fooding coders every day. Made by Dev Express. And if we find issues in it, we report them right in here. Sometimes it feels like it's a
Dance battle!
But you know, overall, the winner is
You won!
All right. Boom. Boom. Okay, so let's go. Did I just win a car? You sure did, Jetsam. You did too, Coding Gorilla. You both won brand new cars. No, we didn't do that. We're not giving away anything. We'll give you away copy Code Rush, though. And if you already got a copy Code Rush, you want to give it away to a friend, let me know. Easy to do. Okay. Let's see, what do I want to do here? Let's get back to the players page. Let's refresh. Let's hide the dice roller, actually. So I've hidden the front overlay and the dice roller. Let's go back to here. Oh, I kind of wanted to just look for every other source offset X. I'm just going to do a find now since tapped index reference isn't doing that for me. I wanted to make sure that everywhere we're getting it, we're also dealing with the Y, and it looks like it is exactly what's happening. We've got a Y line right next to it everywhere. Okay. All right. So if that code is correct, then we should be now creating a matrix of images across the canvas. And if that is the case, let me refresh one more time. If that's the case, then instead of drawing the sword to the middle, it'll go to the end. I still think we're going to have that kind of stutter, that weird performance issue there that happens. This seems bad. Now, we did Skynet last week, Coding Gorilla. You could have stopped us then, but no. Let's initialize player data.
Thomasina, cutie.
So we're enabling this. We're going to bring up little cutie's greatsword. Okay, that's not good. I guess it's good that we have the data coming in here. This may not be bad actually yet. So what's happening is we're trying to draw these frames and they're not found. But it could be the load on demand piece that is that's related in causing this. I just want to also make sure our sequence is looking good. Yeah, the sequence actually is looking good. But the delay in showing it is incredibly bad. So you can see what's happening in the sequence. We're going to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we're counting up. The jump from 69 to 13 works because it's 69 is back when it's over here, and then 13 is where it starts there. So that's part of the loop. So those are fine. Now, though, this is not good. Now we're drawing them, but I don't see them at all. What has happened there? Got some parameter problems. Thanks. Also, quiet. I'm not hearing the sounds there. The sounds might have come from a different overlay that I have disabled, so that might be why that's the way it is. Oh, no, it's busy. Speaking of which, what's our CPU at? Is it like close to 99? That might be what's going on. No? Only there. I'm sure GPU is high. No, not too bad. Yeah, it shows us that we are clearly drawing the images. The images have been loaded. Let's go check to see if we have parameter problems here. Passing these in. This is the source of offset SE1. Pyrocat. Get him, Pyrocat. Good time. I think everything's good for us. We hope everything's good for you too over there, Pyrocat. By the way, I love it whenever you show up because that's so fun to watch that kitten take out all those bad guys. Yeah, I'm in the middle trying to figure out why code doesn't work. It's not my favorite place to be. I think it's not as exciting as, hey, let's make this work, let's do this. But, you know, sometimes that happens, and that's kind of what's happening now. The code, you know, and I'm in this kind of, I'm not sure if it's fair to say familiar place, but it certainly is a place I've known, I've been here before, where the code kind of feels right, but it's not working. And sometimes that's because, you know, we're running into limitations outside of our scope. But we just added the calculation of the source of offset X and Y, and for storing images in a cache, and oh, you know what? It just occurred to me. It totally just occurred to me. I did remove an important line of code. A really important line of code, actually. It's up in here. And I do need to call context.draw on it. Yeah, I was not quite, so hold on a second. I need to say this.context.draw image. Sorry, not this.context. Context.draw image. And I need to put that image at the source offset X and Y. I do need it here. That was important. Yeah, I was looking at this. Yeah, I deleted because I wasn't looking at it and understanding it correctly. I thought we were drawing it on. I thought the context passed in was the context we were trying to draw on, not realizing that the context passed in is the context. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the context for the cached images. That's where I wanted it to be. So that is an important line of code. Let's try that again. So just to be clear, what's happening is when we call cache image, we have to draw it. Draw the image at the cached location. All right, so one more time. Refresh. Initialize player data.
Bushwhacker. Little.
Great sword, where are you? There it is, right there. Nothing is happening right now. There we go. Oh wait, hold on though. We don't have, the options aren't set. We got to set the options and set them down. Because it's been refreshed, it initializes the default options, which means that the synchronous state between these settings and there are not, they're out of sync. So I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to turn it on. Turn on the console. Where are we? Go in performance. Clear. Record. Hopefully this will tell us where we are. I think I'm going to give this about maybe 10 or 15 more minutes. See if we can make any progress on here. That's not great news. It's been saying initialize profiler for a while. Where are you? Not at a breakpoint. We're still running here. Wish we could just do a break all in the JavaScript, but no, that's not going to do it. Here we go, profiling. It's still stopping at this frame. Why is it drawing all the frames before and then dying there? That's super interesting. Let's switch over to console here while it's processing the profile. Can I even do that? Looks like I can't switch away. It says it's drawing them. Let's drop our frame rate really slowly. Drop our frame rate to a really slow level. Let's take it to 5. See if we can see what number it is. Okay. Let's keep it cleared again. It seems to be right around 31. So we jump to the frame index 26, 31, then we go to 37. So 37, hard to find. Okay, let's see what we got for the data. Let's see the breakpoint there. We're getting a canvas. Let's set a breakpoint here. And let's set a conditional breakpoint for when frame index is greater than 31. And run. Since we're at the breakpoint, we're at 38. Let's just sort of offset X. Interesting. So we're at 22,000, which is where I think we said we were before when we noticed problems with the other animation. What is, let's see if we can call this and send in, let's try 69. Okay, and what's the Y offset there? 950. The source offset X is like, it's not pixel perfect over here, right? Look at that. This is also problematic for performance, I've read. Let's go to 68. Yeah. Let's go to 32. There's 31. Let's go to 32. Are we losing it right around the frame? Let's try 40. 40 is good. 50 is good. 60 goes bad. So around frame 60. 55 is bad. 53 is good. Oh, this is when we flip around to the next side. So frame 54 is problematic. Okay, so I think I have a clue as to what the problem is with that code. Let's keep running it. Let's go figure that out. I don't think we're there yet, Coding Gorilla, but I think the fractional positioning is problematic, and I want to make sure that is we solve that. So that is it's down in here. So my X position what's stunning to me is this is something other than an integer. Oh no, wait. It's not. It's not. That should not be stunning to me. Wait. This should be floored right here. Okay, better. This is likely to no longer be a number that's not an integer. Notice it only changed when we went to the next row. Before that, this was 0 times that value. However, I think I'm still going to, I think I'll round it. That's what I think I'm going to do. Just to make sure we've got no decimal places off to the edge on the column and row. And so now we've got integers column and row and multiplying by the image width, which is up there. And I think that feels good to me. I think that's likely to work. Let's refresh one more time. It's interesting though that it's still stopping at the same spot. Okay, there's a refresh. It shows for the data. Turn it on.
Merkin Bushwhacker.
Beauty. Here comes your greatsword. What's this? We're just getting this. That's what's happening here. Okay. The console is sending some errors out. But I think those are all going to clear up as they're loaded. It doesn't look or feel good though. I mean, at this point, I don't have a strong explanation for why this is taking so long to create all these images. It takes less time to do them on the fly than to do these in this off-screen canvas and then copy from them. I'm still dying at around frame 30. I have a new idea in terms of what's causing this. My new idea is that our canvas is actually shorter than it appears. Let's change our frame rate. I actually want to change our frame rate to 1 frame a second. That's what I want to do. Let's go do that. So let's add the buttons for that. I'm just going to use XAML hot reload up here. I'm going to do it for all of these. RBM back 1. Like that. I'm going to mark that. And I'm going to mark that. You select the whole thing and copy it. You come up here, paste it, and replace that with the word dice. Then come up here, and paste it here, and replace it with the word front. And I think that's all I need to do. So now, if I come up here and click on the one, that demo had reload, it's going to take that frame rate and drop it down to 1 frame a second. Weird that we are disappearing. Also weird that I'm getting 2 of these in a row. Well, no, that's not weird. The 2 in a row are because we're saying, okay, let's draw. Yeah, because it is, so even though we're drawing this many frames per second, Yeah, that's actually not helpful. Okay, let's go back to 5. Yeah, it seems like it'd be right around 31 frames. Should I go for 2 frames a second? I guess it's not going to hurt. Pop this in here. Front, back, we get 2. Let's do the same thing. Let me put this with the other layers here. Change that frame rate, see how that looks. 32. It feels like it's not even drawing at frame 28. Let's cut this in half for a second. Excuse me. Let's cut it in half, refresh, try again. Okay, it's enabled.
Working.
Bring up the little cute grid story. Okay, we're expecting these at the beginning. It's maximum canvas in Chrome. Yeah, I saw that. I just want to see. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Why are we losing it halfway through? Why is the technology essentially working? Let's change our frame rate up to 30. Let's raise it to 30. Yeah, it's stopping at about right the same spot. And it says it's drawing it right there. All right, let's do another breakpoint. Let's look at some data, see if we can get any more clues as to what's going on. So I want a breakpoint here, but I think I want a conditional breakpoint only when the frame index. I don't have the index. I don't have the 36. Well, I'm actually over. And what's my source X? 6,000. Source Y is 950. That's a decent value. That should freaking work. I think I have a way to see what's in this image. Can I do this from JavaScript? This does not look like that's not JavaScript. What do we do with this? This dx position is kind of interesting. It's fractional. My x position is fractional coming in. I'm slightly distracted by this. Base animation can't be really undefined. This is, I think this is a all right. I'm not sure about that. It does not look like it's going to be fast and easy. I'm just looking for hopefully something faster to save that. I think it's going to take a while to take a look at that. I'm going to throw, I don't think this is going to make any difference. But I'm going to throw it at it. No, not there. That's not what I want. I'm going to put this up higher. There, that's what I want. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make any difference at all. Let's try it. Initializing player data.
Merkin, little.
Here's a great sword. Okay, so it's kind of the load on demand piece is coming up. That's normal. switch over to enable canvas filter caching. We have this weird performance thing that happens right now. Starts to show that it's drawing the cached image right there at the frame 28. Here we go. And still it dies right there. It's right about the frame 31 that it seems to die. Okay. All right, I think I'm backing out of this. At least it's not too hard to back out of. I'm going to disable that right there for now. Even though it's disabled, it's still using, what's really weird is that color change. It's still using the cache because I don't have anything now that say, hey, no longer use the cache. Yeah, here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to, hold on, let me go up to 30 frames a second on this. It's like a mystery. It's a really weird, bizarre mystery to me as far as what's going on. There's definitely data we need to see to solve this problem that we don't see yet. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend just a little bit of time working on recovering from this. In other words, when I come in here and I go from that and then I clear it and go back out, that's when I want to disable that. I want to go in and clear out and clean up all my caches. So let's add some code to do that. So we've got at least the cleanup part going in there. And that's going to start out in this space. Here. So if this is the case, then we have, I'll say this dot just disabled filter caching. Actually, I think I want that to be static. Now I'm not sure how do I get all of those? Oh shit, shoot, I did not realize this is where I was. Okay, hold on. Okay, well, let's get into. Yeah, cleaning these up is going to be tricky. I think I need to do more. I think I need to do this. Just that. So we won't do cleanup, but at least it'll recover it back. We won't bother asking for the filtered image anymore. Okay, try refreshing that.
Market. It's Judy.
Here's your greatsword as expected. Usual one without caching turned on. Okay, so there we've loaded the image for that. Let's enable canvas filter caching. So for some reason we have this. Maybe I can get a performance. We can get a clue into this. What's the hold up here? Where are you? And now it starts profiling. So it's completely, I don't know what the freeze is. I can't even profile during that time. I think I need to start profiling before I enable the option. Okay, so here it is failing. Let's at least now try to restore it. And is it, there you go. Wow. And back to enabling it again. Stunning to me. Yeah, it's got to be in like one or two places. There's like just a couple things that could be happening here. Either our DX and Y numbers are wrong, which I don't think so. Either there's nothing in the canvas image source at that specified location, which is a possibility, or our source offset X and source offset Y are wrong, but I don't think that's the case either. It's kind of like those are the three things that could explain this. There being an artificial limit on the canvas width or height could also explain it, but we tried changing it down to 1600, right? And we saw no impact there. I think this, as we recall, this was, hold on a second. This was 650 pixels wide, 16,000 divided by 650. How many can we fit across there? 24. All right, let's take it to 8,000. Just 10,000 maybe. If changing this to 8,000 doesn't impact where this drops off when we're enabling the cache, then it's probably, it doesn't have anything to do with the where we're putting the with its coordinates out here. But if it, let's try refresh and see what happens with the refresh. Hold on. Where are we setting the canvas size? Hold on. I think I have an idea. Here. This is potentially the problem. Okay. At least now I'm getting a sense of the issue here. I think this might free us. Let's set us free. Num images per row. Starting to get a better sense of what might just help us out here. So in our constructor, we're going to set num images per row. There. I'm going to change this to 1. I'm going to take this line up here and say push images of 0 on. So we're going to throw the first one in there. Let's actually declare this as a new Okay. We push it. Then we're going to set the image, the canvas width to this thing. So it's image width times context pair dot num images per row. Canvas height is I guess I'll do this num images per column like this. All right. I think that's it. Num images per column. I kind of have a feeling that's going to give us different results than that it's coded correctly.
Merkin, little cutie.
Great sword. Loading in the frames, there they are right there. Okay. I'm kind of doing two things here. I want to see if we get what the fix is, but I also want to hit the record button, start the profiling, and then hit the enable canvas filter caching. Yeah, we're in some really bad place right now. Let's stop that and tell us where we were. Okay, are you ready?
Surly Dad is in the house.
Copper Birdie's here as well. What's my problem here? It doesn't look, these numbers aren't like really crazy. This one's bigger than normal, 64%. Total time 3.5 seconds. Yeah, we waited a lot longer. It was like 15, 20 seconds went by. I don't understand what's going on here. We're basically down to update screen. And request animation frame, sucking up a lot of the time here. Look at that stealth run. You have a stealth run. Oh, that's really funny. That's awesome. That's really funny. Okay. What's happening over here? Switch over to console. Cannot read property. Draw image of undefined. Context is empty in cache image. Did I make a mistake here? Image has been cached. Here. That's my problem. So new canvas context pair here. Cache image. I can't cache it here. Or if I do, I need to say, hey, if not context, then return. Which I can do there. Then I can make one more call to cache the image. Right now I can say this dot no canvas context pair dot cache image. Now pass in this dot context to it. Okay, this I want to pass in null to it at this point. So this comes in because we need to kind of calculate these pieces right here. Is it fair though to say, hold on, no, I was going to ask if it makes sense to make this static, but it does not. All right, let's run it and refresh again. Refresh again. Kids just joining us. We're trying to make the crazy idea work. We wanted to cache on the fly, cache a whole bunch of drawings of an animation with the filters applied. The filters being hue shift, brightness adjustment, saturation adjustment. And we're kind of running into a couple problems, but it's kind of partly working. I'm trying to break past the part that's not working and get to the point where we just have, you know, a there. Okay. Let's turn this off so we have the normal. Let's bring up the greatsword, make it normal.
Copper Beardy is in the house.
We saw you earlier, but you came in just as Surly was doing his fanfare, so it just queued you up for the next time. Copper Beardy, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to enable this. There's going to be a long delay for a second when that we don't know what's going on. Idea. No idea. My whole system's like just shutting down here. I'm just going to throw a breakpoint in here. Oh, we actually get inside here. What's my index? 0. Cache image, context, return. Okay. We get 26 by 16. Okay. I like that. And my width is nice, nice. I think this should be changed to make it smaller. I think we want to make the canvas just wrap around it. Let's run it. Are we now in? We know at least the code's running there. Is it? Are we still in this? Yeah, we're like caching all those images, and it's taking that long. Yeah, I'm beginning to think this is the crazy idea is not going to work because there are other things we're dealing with that are taking a long time. I'm gonna bear with it, wait till it gets out of it. Still problems. This doesn't look right to me. Yeah, systems. Yeah, I'm with you. I actually think this is going to give us the clue for the performance issue. My theory is that we're calling this like crazy for every image when we only need to call it once for all of them. And I think what's happening is it's just getting overloaded. It's trying to create an image cache for each one, kind of over on the same, writing over on the same data. I'm not sure about that yet, but I have a hunch about this. I'm really not sure about the console log. This one doesn't make sense to me. It's for every single weapon. It's like for every single weapon, there's at least one property where the original image comes back null, but it should actually be okay. I guess I want to console log that too. What's remarkable is the boombox, which is using this exact technology, is working, right? So we're running into problems where the thing is just too big, falling outside of the canvas. I think we got close to solving it, but then we got that perf issue that distracted me, and we got a couple others and errors in the console. Code console. Let's
Bushwhacker! Little!
Great sword. There it comes. And it's loaded. Alright, now I'm going to switch over to our canvas filter caching. And I think we're going to see it's going to... Well, let's this out. Yeah. Here. Create filtered images. Yeah, it's not responsive. Why didn't I see that over in the console? Cannot read property width of null, but I just looked for it in the we're getting the problem here, but we're not seeing this. Oh, cache image kills it if we successfully draw it. Okay, that'll help if I do that. I don't think that's a problem anymore. All right. Refresh again. Refresh again. I'm trying to, expecting to see our text across the front. There it is, right there. All right, initialize player data. Click on that. Turn this off. All right, bring up Cuties.
Merkin Bushwhacker! Little cutie!
Okay, that's up. Let's now switch to our cache. Filtering images for hue rotate. So they actually can't see it. Hold on, let's switch. Here's my mouse. Yeah. Performance is super. Switch over here so you can see on the bottom right. So when rotations here. Here's one. These two took a long time, and then we're in the next one. We're not. So that filtering images takes a long time to copy all those images. That's what our problem is. Should we give a slideshow for a second? I believe it. My whole system is like what it's like. I guess all here. There we go. Now we're out of it. That's what we're looking at. We finally done filtering. Okay, good news is, aside from a little bit of flicker, that's now working. All right. Yeah, the problem is that delay is so long to create all of those. Why is it so much longer than just draw? I don't understand that. That makes like no sense to me. Yeah, that makes no sense. Like I'm afraid to try it. All right, let's do this. Let's at least turn it off and make sure that everything still looks good. All right, good. So now we're only doing, I think, 2 transitions per each frame. So we're only doing 2 filter changes on the context each frame. Turn back and enable it again. This time we don't have the massive delay, but I don't see a significant difference in the frame rate. But if we were to put a lot more on, that's when we would have a chance to actually see, are we going to get any benefits from it? But boy, that delay and waiting for that to load up is incredibly painful, and that was for just two sets of animations, one for the sword and one for the magic in the background. I think I need some time to think about this. Yeah, the idea is super clever, but I think we're running into performance issues somewhere else. All right, let's try this. This is going to get risky, I think. Bring up the die roller. I think if we're careful about the way we do this, though, we're not enabling the filter caching right now. We'll reinitialize player data. Okay. It's background loading the images. Let's go break out damage. Break out necrotic damage. Select it from the list over here. And let's roll the damage. This is normal with the hue shifters there. You can see there. Now we have a better sense of what the frame rate might look like, the impact of this on the frame rate. So let's do this. We're going to increase show the window here. So there's the dice window layer. Let's turn off the back layer on the screen. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. That's good right there. Okay, so we can see this. All right, we'll roll the dice again. And refresh the drone game inadvertently. All right, let's roll the damage one more time. Let's make this 4d6. Frame rate's down about 9 frames per second. All right. So if I switch to the cache, it's going to take a while, but I think it's only going to cache 3 different parts. That's what I think it's only going to do. So yeah, look at this. We're down at 7 frames per second here. So now let's turn on caching and we'll see how bad it gets with regards to performance. Let me clear all these off actually. Move this off to another screen. Okay, so there's you've got color shifting, all of that happening. Oh, we also have color shifting for the exit points, which are potentially vast as well. But those may not happen until they're actually called for. So we may, just warning, I think, the stream could get, totally janky here. All right, I'm about to, I'm going to enable canvas filtering. Now I click the button. Nothing's happening yet in the console log, because I think we have to actually come in and say we want to use something. So I'm going to come back now and I'm going to say, let's roll 4 more D6 necrotic. Let's make it interesting. Let's turn them into D12s and roll the damage. Go. Nothing in the console log though. But look at this. There you go. Oh no, the screen is black. Look at that. Filtering images for hue, rotate. Got some hue rotates here. Got all of these individual hue rotates. At least they're not taking so long. At least not as long as the bigger images. This could be reducing the amount of hue rotation. And totally black screen. This is crazy. All right. So, and we lost the music and the scroll. We lost the coins flipping around as well. Looks like the other computer's doing okay. So I think I'm backing away from this. I haven't entirely given up hope on this at all, but I'm like, I think there might be a fundamental problem in what we're doing that's impacting performance in a way that does not make sense and may potentially be impacting memory as well, I suppose. We should check in on that. Yeah, I think that's not good as well. So I think we've got to back out of this crazy idea. So that thing is turning that off. Let's see what happens if we do the die roll now. If everything is, even though we've got a lot of memory we haven't freed up, if we at least get By the way, Coding Gorilla, how are we doing now in terms of stream? Are we smooth again or are we frozen? Let's roll that damage. Oh, look at that. That's kind of interesting. All the die effects are here. We don't know where the die are. All right, let's refresh. Okay. Yeah, I feel like we are pushing the system to its limits, and oh, I was looking up here. That's OBS over here. That's what I think was some of the stuff we've already had, with some of the cached images we've already created potentially. Let me just refresh those. Waiting for the browser refreshes to complete. Interesting, we saw a drop in memory, but it's still like at a crazy amount of memory usage. What is that page? I have a theory that that page is not being used. All right, here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm getting close to saying let's end the stream today, I think. So interesting, kind of really more of an R&D kind of thing. I thought we had a shot at getting through this, but that perf issue seems like it's a pretty substantial block. I think I'm gonna need some time away. I'm going to kill this piece right here, which could potentially kill the stream. I'm going to get ready to raid you kids over to somebody else. And I think next week I'm going to focus more on getting very, so because this week was more like, hey, what if we tried this? What if we tried this? We were really kind of reaching and trying to push the system pretty hard. I think we're going to do some more fundamental down-to-earth kind of coding next week. So yeah, you have a good weekend too, Coding Gorilla. Glad you were here. Let's see, who's out there right now broadcasting? We can raid you to. Instafluff, always fun. I'll send you over there. Also, you got Clark.io and Chef Brent also out there. Have a good weekend. Tell Instafluff I said hi. See you next Tuesday. Ended that task, but kept OBS running. Interesting though, we lost the music. Can I refresh that overlay and get back to working or not? Whatever that was connected Nope. Looks like OBS is tanking. All right. Well, I said it might die. I'm gonna kill the stream. And